So I don't really talk much on this channel, nor do I post a lot. That's for a certain reason. Because I'm busy. I work a 9 to 5. I'm working all day. And when I come home at night, I just want to relax. Hop on the game or sit and write a song, or I just want to be me, just chill. But then over beginning of this month, beginning of last month, my bad, Brendan Rice dropped the track and put the shit right here. He dissed me. Not sure who the other person was who got dissed, but I just want to make one thing very clear. There is a response coming. I literally go to the studio. Well, let's see, today's Wednesday. It's a lot to midnight, so it's like today's Wednesday. I go to the studio tomorrow. So I got a response coming. But I'm just gonna say this in general. Half the shit that he said in Two Broke Boys shouldn't even been said. Let me tell y'all a little story, okay? It's around January 2021. Brendan Rice hits me up. Says, "Hey bro, I'm coming home from Kentucky." I said, "Okay, that's cool." And then he was, asking if he can crash at my place for a week because he didn't really want to go home. I said, yeah, that's fine. Then, one thing led to another. Something happened at his mom's crib. And then he said, yo, can I stay with you till I get back on my feet? And I said, yeah, sure. And then the next day, he went to try to get his job back because he quit for the time period while he was in Kentucky. And the job wouldn't let him go back in, even if he did the application process again. So he was going everywhere trying to find jobs. He got a job at Panera, the new Panera that opened down the street from my apartment. He quit that job. Then he got a job at Taco Bob's downtown. Fuck if I know, fuck if I care if he's still there. But long story short, he crashed on my couch for about, give or take, like 4.5 months. Mind you, I didn't charge him any rent. I charged him zero money to be here. Maybe about $50 is all he ever coughed up the entire 4.5 months he was here. And then all of a sudden, after I've taken him places he needs to go, when I've taken him to his mom's, taken him to work, when I took him to his new apartment and picked him up from work and took him to work that day too, I somehow still gotta pay $50 to him. See, that's what the pathetic thing is here, guys. It's all over $50. Now, mind you, I make $12.75 an hour at where I work. I can make the $50 I owe him in literally maybe 2.5 hours. In a single 5-6 hour shift, he can make the $50 that I owe him. He makes $10.25 plus tips, apparently. And all the tips he has, he was flexing fucking literally over $250 in cash when me and Savannah went to go feed the homeless back in July 2021. Mind you, we stopped talking, and I told him, fuck you, I'm not associating with you, because you just a money-hungry bitch. I told him this shit back in October. And, you know, it was around the Christmas time. I'm like, you know what? It's just over $50. I'm going to block him. I'm going to tell him, look, it's just over $50, bro. Let's just be adults about this. Then I unblock his Instagram. Then I see that post. Then I go listen to the song, and then I'm like, oh, so he wanted to go to the petty route. Well, I'm going to tell you some things about the song that I'm going to release on him called Conceited. Now, I could have been petty, and I could have talked about his big sister, talked about his mom, I could have talked about his dad, I could have talked about his little siblings. I could have literally talked about anything. But what I did, out of respect for people that don't need to be involved in that kind of business because he's a grown-ass man, was I left that all alone. I didn't mention his parents. I didn't mention none of his family at all. But I did talk about his drinking problems, how he's money hungry, talked about his ego, talked about all the shit I've done for him. Like, he wouldn't even know about the studio if it weren't for me. He came to work one day when he was still working at Sonic. This was like beginning of the pandemic. This is like maybe a few months into the pandemic. I'm fucking ecstatic, you know. I just get off the phone with my boy Sam. And then he sees me counting the deposit that I'm putting together of my own hard-earned money. And he's like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, yo, bro, I just found this nice-ass studio, bro. It's cheap as fuck, and it's down the street from where I'm at right now. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. It's called Luna Recording and Sound. And, you know, I said, I can't really promise that you might like it, but if you want, you can come to the session if you would like to. He said, okay, bet. He requests that day off, and I already had the day off because I told my boss about it and he gave me the day off. Then he recorded like maybe a song or two while he was there so he can get the feel, and then he liked it. And then I'm like, well, dude, I just basically paid for you to go to the studio. Like, you can pay me back for that. And then there was another time, like last year, 2021, when I got my taxes, $450 locked in to go to the studio so I could work on Young and Renegade. What does he do? He uses about maybe an hour and a half of my studio time so he can record parts of songs for The Departed. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I mean, I gave him full permission to, because I knew I probably wasn't going to use all 10 hours, but he could have at least financially compensated for what he used, like what time he used. And then he's going to be a bitch about $50. I'm like, come on now. Use a little bit of common sense. And then let me tell you guys something else. Like, he's burning bridges and he's starting beef with either people that aren't even on his level, that don't even know he exists, or are already more successful than he is. Like, Dumb Ugly, he's touring, apparently. I'm not sure how that really goes, because I'm only going off of what I I hear on his Instagram story. He tours and he gets money from Spotify for his songs. And that's something that he hasn't doing. So that's basically saying that Dumb Ugly's already succeeding more than he is. That he's gonna diss him because it was on behalf of his friend Alex, who has association with Dumb Ugly or some shit like that. Then he's gonna diss Jake Paul. Alright. I'm not one that likes Jake Paul, okay? I think Jake Paul's the biggest douchebag known to man. But you know what? He's making millions of dollars, makes great content, he's doing what he wants to do with his life, so let him do him. But then he's gonna diss Jake Paul sneakily in his song Insulins. I'm sitting there telling him while he's sitting there writing it in the chair that I had in the corner in this apartment. He's sitting there saying, it could work. Maybe he'll hear it. Maybe he'll do a response. I'm like, Jake Paul has better shit to do than listen to diss tracks made about him. There's way more than just yours. And then there's the fact that job he had at Sonic. If it weren't for me telling him that Sonic was hiring, he would have never found out about Sonic. His music would probably still sound like it's in an echoing tunnel if it weren't for me. Look, I'm just being truthful here, guys. Like, this shit's been weighing on me. I've been wanting to give y'all an update even before all this shit. I'm just overwhelmed. I work too much. And I've just been pushing it all aside. But there is a music update. This upcoming year, I'm releasing a 3-part album called Under the Influence. It's going to have songs. I'm going to have songs of Bronze Nazareth, Yuckmouth, Young Buck, and Swifty McVeigh. Bronze Nazareth, known for doing a lot of features with Wu-Tang Clan. Yuckmouth, a well-known rapper. Young Buck, part of G Unit with 50 Cent. Swifty McVeigh, known for being in D12. I got a song with one of my homeboys that I'm doing in the studio. I'm writing music because music is what makes me happy. It's what makes me feel a part of society. Because I'm in my own world right now. And he can watch this video on YouTube for all I fucking care. The matter of the fact is this. I am more man than he will ever be. I have a loyal girlfriend. I have a wonderful child. I work a job that pays decent. I can keep up my rent. I can keep up my bills. And I can still maintain a happy lifestyle without drinking, without partying. And shit, even when I was single before I got with Savannah, I wasn't fucking around on Tinder. I wasn't fucking around on Bumble. I wasn't doing none of that shit. That's how desperate he is. Not to mention, I got the fucking 3.5 minutes of him drunk off his fucking balls in voice messages that I'm putting in Conceited. But that's enough about that. I'm just gonna wait for y'all to hear Conceited when it comes out on February 14th. Then my other songs coming out on February 20th and February 10th respectively. For now, this is New Brand saying, represent the KZ. OO.